Continuing with our USPHL breaking news presented by the Dan K Show. Big news coming out of the hockey world here. The Hlinka Gretzky games, maybe the Hlinka Gretzky Cup. The cup hasn't been raised since Team USA since 2003. But I've got a man here in Coach Mike Anderson who's sending two of his best athletes, two of his best 17-year-old hockey studs out to the Czech Republic and Slovakia to bring that cup back to the USA. Coach Mike Anderson, how you feeling today with the big news?
Hey, thanks for having me. Yeah, really excited for these guys.
And it's such a big moment right now for these guys, Coach. I mean, talk from a coach's perspective when you hear these guys are heading out, trying out for the team. They're at the camp, putting it all out there on the ice. I mean, you got to have some nerves. You're rooting for these guys the whole way through their collegiate journey, their junior hockey journey. What's your feeling throughout the process?
Well, it's interesting with these two guys, right? Like we talked all year with them about, the sacrifices that they made, right, to make this possible for them to play this year, right? They didn't have to go down this path. They could have stayed back home and just trained and practiced like some other guys chose to do. They want to be professional hockey players. I think they both understand and realize they have an opportunity to play at that level. And so there was never any hesitation with them, right? Pursuing the opportunity with us, challenging themselves as two of the younger players in the league, and quite honestly, immediately establishing themselves as two impact players, not just on our team, but across the league. So I said to them, on multiple occasions over the course of the season, I felt like the fruits of their labor, they would realize as they went into the off season and further down the road with their careers, the hard work that they put in this year would really kind of pay off for them. And it sounds like they went out there and did exactly what they were supposed to do, play at an extremely high level.
Now, Coach, one of the biggest things with your system over the years that we've seen, it's unselfishness in the play. It's every guy that takes the ice with your team is within that system playing to the role they need to play to. It's why you raised it a couple of years ago, why you got close again this year with the young squad. Can you talk about, for the folks that are going to be watching Team USA August 2nd through the 7th, what are they getting in a Cam Lund? What are they getting in a Jackson Dorrington? What can they expect from these two?
Well, so it's interesting, right? Like Cam Lund can get blue line to blue line in what seems like two strides. He's so long and he's so light on his skates in a good way that his burst is special, right? And I think that's something that hopefully the folks who put this group together already saw, and I think we'll continue to see, as they get into game competition, that he has the ability every time he touches the puck to accelerate and make a play. And in the case of Jackson, he is so competitive. He can shoot the heck out of the puck, first of all. And he's big and he's long. He's a beautiful skater and just a really, really talented one-on-one player. That obviously that manifested itself in the tryout process as well. These are two guys that are going to be unbelievable to watch when they get to Northeastern, and incredible to watch in whatever paths their careers take, well beyond college. So two guys that I'm sure are going to be big time contributors to that group that's headed over there.
Now, Coach, Dan mentioned that, of this team right now, 8 of these players have commitments, 3 of those players, NCDC ties. We know that the NCDC has had a lot of success throughout the years that it's been around. For you, is this extra validation for the model of the NCDC and what players can achieve if they come into that system?
Well, I think, again, with us, there was always, especially going into this season, right, and the players that we were going to have available to us to work with this year, the commitment for us to not just take young players on your team, but I think with Cam and with Jax and with Chris Delaney, our other 04, who represented himself very well out at camp as well, that if you're going to take those guys, you better be prepared to play them. They have extremely high ceilings, and they're very, very talented hockey players. So even though, there might be bumps on the road, in the road from a day-to-day perspective in terms of them going out and competing against 20-year-olds every day, you have to be prepared as a coach to kind of be positive with them, to push them to continue to kind of believe in themselves and fight through that adversity. And I think, as you saw with, with Cam Lund scored a big overtime goal for us in the playoffs against the Islanders, game one. After kind of fighting it a little bit earlier in that game, that I think some of those growing pains that he went through, really kind of paid dividends for him down the stretch. And obviously Jack's, the same thing. Let's remember, these guys were down in Tampa for 2 months, doing online school, training and working. I mean, on top of what was already a crazy year, for them to add in full-time school, at a high-end private school academically, and kind of all the rigors that came along with that, super impressive. And it should really speak volumes to how committed these guys are to what they're doing.
Now, Coach, final question for you. Last time Team USA raised the cup, these two gentlemen weren't born. Do we raise the cup this year? Does Team USA bring it back to the States when this thing's all said and done?
Oh, 100%. 100%. What a talented group of players. I mean, you look at the kids, obviously, that are going to be going and representing USA. What an unbelievable honor for them and their families. But some of those guys that, that came up short, I mean, wow. There are so many talented players at that birth year. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
It's going to be fun. Watch it August 2nd through the 7th from the Czech Republic and Slovakia. I'm not going to try to pronounce town names because I make myself look dumb, Lucas. No matter how many times you ask Google Translate, I never get it right. Dan K, Coach Mike Anderson, Lucas Jones, the Hlinka Gretzky Cup coming at you, 2021 version. Gotta watch.